Hello, sunshines. We got us a heck of a mess here today. We've about got the chainsaw powered chicken plucker working. I think it is working. Getting ready to do a test run on it. I'll probably make a series on this. I'm gonna set you guys over here and see if I can get a decent lighting on it. The door's open and it'll wash the camera out. I'll try to set you guys up over here and I'll show you what we're doing. All right, guys, here she is. Brief overview. I built the sprocket to drive off the chainsaw. I got a video coming on that. It's already shot. I just wasn't going to release anything until I make sure the whole thing's going to work. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I know I get long-winded enough. The last thing I want to do is disappoint you and promise you something in a video and not show up. So I got another video building that bar. A little bit of this and that on there. I've got a few videos coming on basically putting this together. And I'll make some more now that I've got the hydraulics figured out. That's what I was working on all morning this morning, was getting the flow rate, or getting the flow. Gallons per minute I needed, or cubic inches per revolution is actually what I was working with. The first pump I tried was not enough, honestly. It just wasn't enough. I was able to pull a saw down, but I was maxing out the pump at about 8,000 RPMs on the saw, give or take. Depends on how big a saw. I couldn't hardly do over 3.5, 4 horsepower. This saw here should be 4.5 horsepower range. It was 3.5 factory. I've done just a little bit to it years ago. It pulls pretty good. So that's a wild guess, so we're going to put that on there. We may put the 250 on there, we may put the 260 on there. I'm not sure. If this video works out and gets posted, you rest assured there's going to be a couple saw runs on it and a couple torque or horsepower torque charts. But I don't have but I don't know $150 in this whole thing, so we're doing good right now. And I can show everybody how to build it, because back where I used to work, that was one thing we always said: what one person knows, everybody knows, as long as we communicate. So if you can come up with some other ideas, throw them down in the comments. I ain't hiding nothing. I ain't trying to sell them. Hope everybody makes their own. Hope everybody makes their own better than this one. Okay, here's the MS270. We're going to warm it up, do a run or two on it. MS270. There was a run on the MS270. I'm going to pull out 250, put it on there, get an idea where we're at with it, and then we'll pick something else and put on it probably. We're in the design R&D, I guess they call it in the big city. We're on the design. I know that other guy that has a dyno. Man, I really like him. I really like his channel. Good guy. Probably, well, there ain't no probably about it. I couldn't pack his water for him. There ain't no doubt about that. When it comes to machine work or chainsaw building, yeah, probably ought to put some twist water in this and here. I muddle around on computers. I built the spreadsheet for this. A tack here. and a scale there, and we've got all the calculations. Boy, just like the typical firewood guy and non-professional chainsaw guy, I always like to just run bar oil right down over the whole saw, especially when it's cold. But I think I want to tack. The refresh rate on that one ain't to suit me. That's why I'm doing real slow dyno runs right now. So like on a 10-second dyno pull, I would only get 10 different RPM readings, and I'd get 40 different torque readings. So we're going to build us first off probably an Arduino we're going to build us an Arduino tack. It'll refresh a lot faster. We'll probably do an Arduino scale on it too, if we can do data acquisition straight to the computer. Right now what I'm doing is I've got a cell phone pointed right at both monitors, so I have to go through there frame by frame and pick them out and put it in my spreadsheet. On. Let's see if this old MS210 will fire up. I moved you guys a little bit. I ain't done a dyno run with this yet. You'll notice I moved you. That was due to the fact this exhaust was going to blow right on you again and cover you guys' eyeballs with oil. Well guys, I don't know about you, but I'm going to call that a success. So far, we can do a little bit better on data acquisition, and we're working on that. I think we got the mechanicals ever figured out. I was watching a lot of things here. Like I say, once I get to running it, I probably won't have to watch them as hard, but I was watching a lot of different readings here. Trying to see where we're going. Some sort of high-low transition going on in this carburetor. I see that it's pulling and jumping a couple times when I hit an RPM. I think that's in the carburetor. I'd have probably never figured that out had it not been for the dyno though. And we can tune it a little bit. Anyhow, I ain't got to tell you nothing you don't already know. But you guys can tell me something I don't know. Tell me what else I can do here. Give me some things to think about that maybe I hadn't. If you say something and I say, well, this, Don't take it as argumentative down there in the comments. Take it as exchange information. That's what we're doing. But don't hesitate to say something like that, and I might answer no, or hey, you got a good idea, I never thought of that. Go inside, I'll get this data inputted in. Anyhow, I'll get it jabbed into the computer, cram it down this throat a little bit, and I'll bring you back with a chart. Yep, let's go see that. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging around, following me in. We got the dyno information put into the computer, made our spreadsheet, made our charts. This is the MS210. There's my power and torque. I would call it horsepower, but I'm still working on some things. It's real close to horsepower, so right now I'm calling it brake unicorn power, because there's about one point this might be a little suspect. Basically it's horsepower and foot-pounds of torque. They're real close, if not perfect, but I'm not willing to go that far yet. So the MS210, we got 3.04 horsepower, unicorn power, and on the torque our max was 2.18. That's goldfish banana power. Goldfishes bend their tails a little bit, and bananas all way different. Actually, I think it's very, very, very close to foot-pounds of torque, as close as I can get, down to about 100th. But I've got one more variable to take care of. But anyhow, so I'll digress. MS210 dyno trial was right here. Max horsepower 3.04. Max torque 2.18. You'll notice these charts from one to another are a little more jagged than the others. This one had 49 inputs on it to get that, and it seems like that's a little too many. That's about from the horsepower range, you could calculate that out. I think that was like every less than 100 RPMs in there, so it was a little jagged. The next run we done was the MS270. I run a little bit faster dyno run. I only had 30 inputs on it, and really probably 28, because that 3600, that was a heck of a jump. RPMs were dropping bad right there. But it was 4.12 horsepower, we'll call it, and 2.73 foot-pounds of torque. This saw has, that's the one I trenched the case on. I haven't messed with the intake or exhaust ports any, or the transfer numbers, anything like that. That was like, that was about a 3.5 horsepower saw when it was new. The very first saw I ever messed with was this one, and all I did was a muffler mod. I took and shark fin the muffler, so it's got a shark fin muffler on it, and a little bit of trench work, and we're up to 4.12. This MS310 was kind of somewhere in the middle on inputs. There was 43 inputs from here to here. And I will tell you, boy, I like that other guy at the dyno channel. And I hesitate to mention his name because I'm not trying to horn in on what he does, but I have the utmost respect of his to tell me I could say his name and make a comparison to his and mine where mine's lacking or whatever. I'd be happy to say his name, but I just don't feel like I have the right. So anyhow, you'll notice my horsepower charts run backwards of his. He's always starting on the right side of the screen and going left. And his high RPMs, his max RPMs over here, and his lowest RPMs over here. Okay. I always had a hard time reading that chart. It took me a while to figure it out. Once I figured it out, I realized I was an idiot. But to me, I'm revving it up right here. This is where I'm wide open throttle. This is the direction I pull it down. So that's how the dyno run feels, sees on the camera. So I want the chart to flow the same way. I pull her up to wide open throttle right here. We was maxed out on RPMs. I'd have to move that down to see it because it'll be up there on about line 2. Close to 11,000, which isn't that high. It's run a little fat. I was just dynoing it. I'm not tuning it, trying to dyno. But anyhow, so my dyno sheet runs backwards to that other guy because I built my spreadsheet to run backwards because that's how I wanted it. So wide open throttle, you start putting a little bit of load to it. At about 10,000, it kicks in, cleans up. Right there's where it just cleans up and starts running good. And she pulls pretty good. She's about 5.31 horsepower at max. I didn't put down what RPM it hit max. And 3.37 foot-pounds of torque. Now I'm able to put in a comparison in here. Sorry for jacking that around on you guys. The MS210 is here, horsepower and torque. The MS270 is the next one. That's the blue one. There's your torque and there's your horsepower. You'll notice that 270's run quite a few more RPMs than either the 310 or the 210. The 310 torque is here. The 310 horsepower is here. I can do all those here. I wish I could figure this out just a little bit better here. And I can put some blocks in there. But if you guys are smart with spreadsheets, I'm not very good with them. I can muddle around. Appreciate you guys hanging around. Hope you enjoyed this. This is the first dyno trial run with it working. I'd had a wrong pump on it, so it's run before, but it wasn't right. I should be able to do 10.5 to 11 horsepower saw on this one without changing the pump. Appreciate it, guys. If I earned it, like it. If I didn't, don't. Appreciate it. Let me know what I did wrong. Let me know what I did right. Jump in there and have fun and throw some ideas around. I appreciate her. Thank you, guys.